In this video, I'm going to show you how to fix your Performance Max campaigns, eliminate wasted ad spend, and get more conversions so that your business grows. I've broken the video down into the most common problems I see, and I've included them in the timestamps below. So you can either watch all the way through or skip forward to whatever problem you're currently experiencing. So the first and probably one of the most common questions I get is, I'm not getting any impressions or clicks, my Performance Max campaign isn't running. So if this is a brand new account, you will need to be patient. It takes anywhere from 24 to 48 hours for Google even to start delivering your ads. So if you haven't waited this long yet, then chances are something as simple as just waiting is going to fix your problem. In reality, I've actually seen it take even longer than 48 hours, particularly on new accounts. If it's not a new account, it will most of the time start delivering within one day, but please just be patient. Sometimes it just takes time. If you've waited more than 3 days and nothing's happened, check to see the campaign is actually switched on and that no end date has been set. You'd be surprised how often this happens. The next thing, if you are running e-commerce ads, so you have a merchant sender account, check in the merchant center there's no issues there. If all your products aren't approved and everything's disapproved, then your Performance Max is unlikely to start delivering anything. Most of the time, 88% of your traffic is going to be coming from shopping. So budget can be another issue. If your budget is set too low, you may need to increase it to start seeing some form of a result. If you haven't, then likely what will happen is the ad just will not deliver, the campaign won't show to anyone, particularly in something that's quite competitive or has a really high CPC or that is high ticket. Normally the budget needs to be a bit higher. So something as simple as increasing it can start to get it to deliver, and then you can lower it again once it starts to spend. Lastly, a super important thing is make sure your conversion tracking is set up correctly. Performance Max campaigns use smart bidding and machine learning. If your conversion tracking isn't working, it's going to make it very hard for your campaign to be working properly. The next common issue is low traffic. Low traffic might mean you're just getting some or very few clicks, or you just feel like you should be getting more. The solution for not getting many clicks is really very similar to what we just covered. Raise your budget can really help you deliver more traffic. Patience, again, is a big one. Really, 4 to 6 weeks is what you need to let it run before you can kind of make any sort of decisions. You can do things earlier, obviously, to make things better and improve a lot of factors that obviously I've covered ad nauseum on this channel, and we will cover more in this video. So when you give Google more budget, it's going to give it more wiggle room to bid more, thereby actually allowing you to enter that auction and have a chance at making a sale. Low traffic is often linked to really narrow targeting. Now that might mean your location, the products you've selected don't have much search volume where you're advertising them, your audience that you've selected, the audience signals are too narrow and there's just not enough to go off. Try adding more locations if you don't have many. I prefer to add more than less and then tone it back. Include more products if you've only chosen some products. Patience again is another one. If you are sure there's plenty of search volume, start adding more information to your product feed, so your merchant center feed. Add more keywords in your titles, descriptions, and also ensure that you have put those products in the correct category, the correct Google product category, because Google really looks at this when it's determining when to show your products. So by giving Google plenty of information on your product, you'll give yourself the best chance at coming up in the auction, thereby increasing your traffic. So the next thing is spending but not getting sales. This is a really common one. A lot of people go, my ads just aren't working, I'm spending all this money, I'm not getting any results. Nick, please help me. If you're spending money, getting plenty of clicks, and you're not getting sales, then obviously we have a problem. The whole idea of Google Ads is that you need to be profitable with them, right? Now, while the first few months this may not be the case, this should be our target. Firstly, assess how long and how much money you've spent. I see a lot of people spend $100, go, I've got no sales, turn the campaign off, Google Ads, Performance Max do not work. Google Ads, in particular Performance Max, is a game of patience. It's a game of time spent in the auction versus switching on and off. This isn't Facebook ads. You need to give the algorithm time to do its thing, and find you some buyers. Be patient. The number one factor I see when people fail with Google Ads is they're not patient, they make too many changes, they turn campaigns on and off too quickly, new campaigns, old campaigns, like it's just a mess. Give it time, it will find you buyers as long as you're selling good products on a good website. If you've been running the campaign for several weeks or months and haven't gotten any sales, then there's a number of things we can start looking at. Firstly, try to make Google work a little harder and set a target ROAS. So if you go into your settings of your Performance Max campaign, you can set a target ROAS, forcing Google to try and hit that parameter that you've set. Set that target ROAS just below your break even. This doesn't always work, but it's definitely worth trying. If you've already set a target ROAS, then try raising it to see if you can be a bit more profitable. You can also try and lower the budget a little bit to see if it'll force it to be more profitable. Next, take a real critical look at your shopping listings. So these are your actual shopping ads. Go and look at them, compare them to your competitors. Are they in the best possible shape? Do they stick out, the images? Are your listings more enticing than your competitors? Also check that there isn't a disconnect between the ad and the actual landing page, so the product page. That's the next factor, is the landing page, product page. It needs to be high converting, it needs to load fast, give customers all the right information. The more information and the more relevant information, the better. Try and make the pages look trustworthy in the whole page itself, so people pull out their credit card and aren't going, am I actually going to get this? Am I going to be scammed? Make sure you go through the entire checkout funnel and make sure there's any major issues in there at all. If you do this and still don't get results, you probably need to assess the products you're selling and the site all in totality. Get friends, family, strangers, get a professional look at it and just go, am I actually selling things that people want? And is this website trustworthy? These are normally the things I find that are missing. So if you're getting sales but aren't profitable, most of the above what I've mentioned will also apply, so try all of those. If you've done all this and still aren't profitable, try going through your asset groups and making some improvements. You can also try creating entirely new asset groups with different audience signals and assets, but it's always worth checking to see if there's particular products that are chewing up all your spend and not converting. Removing these can give you a chance to get other products some attention and see if they will convert profitably for you. I always tell my clients to make sure that product pricing is on point. It's really important. If your product pricing is not allowing you enough margin to be able to run ads, then you've already set yourself up for failure. Selling your products too cheap can really impact your profitability. It's much better to start off expensive rather than cheap. If possible and you can remain competitive, try increasing your prices. This is particularly important now in an inflationary environment where the price of everything is going up and your costs continue to go up. Your cost of living, the cost of the materials, the cost of your product, everything's going up. You need to be putting your prices up. No matter what business you are at the moment, chances are your costs are going up. And if the market allows it, so your sales aren't going to tank, because if your sales completely tank, then it's not worth doing. But review your pricing and see, can you push a bit of an increase? I'm not saying to get greedy. I'm just saying that the reality is, and those of you that want to stay in business, you're probably going to have to raise your prices. And if you can't raise them and people don't buy your product, then your product probably isn't that good. So moving on from that is big performance swings all of a sudden. I see this quite regularly with Performance Max because we're utilizing conversion tracking and machine learning. Any big variable change will reset everything. So if you go and change a major setting, this might result in either, what I normally see will be declining conversions or declining return on ad spend. So to fix these, we need to have a look at what are the common problems that occur, and these are changing a major setting. So if you've gone and changed the target ROAS, gone and changed all your product titles, descriptions, changed your feed, you changed your conversion tracking is the next one as well. Any of these things will completely reset everything, particularly conversion tracking or the feed. Any big changes in that, a new feed, it's going to be treated as almost like starting from scratch. And that's a really big one, is people go and change their feed and all of a sudden they're like, oh, why have my sales tanked? But you've completely changed what you were optimizing for, the variables, everything's changed. like you cannot expect it to behave the same as it did before. It's like starting pretty much from scratch. Another factor is auction changes from a competitor or a new market entrant. So this could mean something like, your best-selling product just tanked. Someone's come in, taken that #1 spot. They've got a better product, a better price, and you're doing horribly. That's really going to impact you. And then to get around that is, can you change the price and beat them? Can you make your product listing more premium? Can you get a different product that looks different and is better? All of these factors are what you're going to have to visit. So from there, you're getting conversions and you want to scale. I've got lots of videos on scaling. I'm not going to cover scaling in this. I'll do it in another video, and there's plenty on here. But really, your first step is increase budget, focus on the products that are selling well, focus on selling more products that aren't getting any attention and things like that. So I'll leave the links to those videos below. If you need someone like myself to help you scale, then please just apply below. I'll leave a link, or go to my website, Armentis Digital, and contact us. And if you're still here, thanks for watching till the very end. I'd like to thank you and wish you a fantastic day. I'd appreciate if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and leave a comment with any questions below. I'd really love to answer those for you. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.